One of the reasons Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that he's endorsing Donald Trump is because Democrats support censorship. That's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said. Well, this week, Donald Trump, speaking in Detroit, Michigan, said that if you burn an American flag, a constitutionally protected form of speech, you should go to jail for a year. And if you have to change the Constitution to make that the punishment, then so be it. Free speech. And it's Democrats who are for censorship. Here's Donald Trump with an idea so outrageous, all of the cultists love it.
Burning the American flag, I want to get a law passed. Everyone tells me, oh, sir, it's very hard. You burn an American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. Got to do it. We got to do it. They say it's not constitutional. They say, sir, that's unconstitutional. We'll make it constitutional. We're going to make it constitutional. But you burn an American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. That was terrible, what happened at the convention in Chicago.
What other forms of constitutionally protected free speech does Donald Trump want to criminalize to start throwing people in prison for their speech? Because I doubt this is the only one. This is a perfect example of how MAGAism, MAGA Trumpism, differs from the bygone tradition of conservatism. I've never been a conservative, but I can recognize that there was a point in time in which they would never say in the conservative world, the Constitution doesn't matter, or we change it to suit our needs or to be able to imprison people we don't like. No. They would have said, we don't do that. That's not conservatism, because MAGA Trumpism is not conservatism. It's reactionary authoritarianism blended together with word salads and confusion and ignorance. Flag burning has been a form of political protest for over a century in the United States. During the Vietnam War, it was prominent. It was a symbol of dissent. And over the years, flag burning has been employed by various groups to express discontent with government actions or the state of the nation. I have no interest in burning flags. I've never burned a flag of any kind. It's always been a divisive act. There are many people who say it's offensive or disrespectful, but lots of speech is offensive or disrespectful, and you don't go to prison for it. You don't criminalize it. And you can make the argument, I know it's so cliche, that the most important, or at least the most legally important forms of speech to defend legally are those you disagree with, because it forces you to look at the principle. This doesn't mean we go out and celebrate people who use the N word and the K word for Jews. No, it doesn't mean we celebrate it. But the point is, we say, if it's legal, it's legal. And just because I don't like it, I can't make it against the law. The legality of flag burning has been challenged many times. The Supreme Court has solidified that you can burn the flag. It's part of the First Amendment. There's a bunch of different cases. We're not going to get into it here. But this is the authoritarianism that we've been talking about. During this same event in Detroit, Donald Trump taking credit for the United States military having ammunition. This is a 9-year-old one. He used to say, when I came in after Obama, they came to me, they said, sir, there's no ammunition. So I got them bullets. And now I guess they threw them out. The funny thing is, after he got us bullets, when Biden came in, now we don't have ammunition anymore. He never explains, what did Biden do with the ammunition?
So I had, and you will say it, I had ammunition. We had so much it was coming out of our gills, right? I had ammunition. Oh, I said, what the hell do we do with all this ammunition? We had so much. And now we don't have ammunition again. We gave it all away to different groups, but mostly into Ukraine.
Okay. So his argument, so there it is. He actually does address it here. Usually he doesn't. The reason all the ammunition he got us we no longer have, even though the military budget continues to grow, what's the money going to? We don't know. Is because we gave all of the godly ammunition that he got us to Ukraine, which of course is untrue. We gave Ukraine stuff that was due to be replaced anyway, which is another crazy aspect, by the way, of the military-industrial complex. So continuing to insist that only under Trump can the military even be expected to have or do anything. In maybe the most delusional moment of this event, Donald Trump told the crowd that he's a highly sophisticated, highly educated individual who always is on the lookout for good words.
You know, I always look for good words. Highly sophisticated. I'm highly educated. I like sophisticated words, but there's only one word I can't. They're stupid. They're stupid people.
Right.
I'd like to say, I guess you could say incompetent. Sounds maybe a little better. I don't know. Which is better, being stupid or being incompetent? Because they're both.
Super sophisticated words. And that is definitely what Trump is known for, sophistication with speech.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your...
And then Donald Trump addressing what's happening in Ukraine. And it genuinely looks like Trump has no idea what's happening in Ukraine.
Look at what's going on right now with Ukraine. They're surging into Russia. Okay? You're going to end up in World War III, and it's going to be a bad one.
Trump using his earnest and somber pseudo-whisper voice. It's quite fascinating how one of the best deals we've gotten as far as the military is what's happening in Ukraine. We have a situation where, with no U.S. troops on the ground, with equipment that, quite frankly, was starting to get a little bit old and needs to be replaced anyway, because remember, most of the donations are equipment and not money, the U.S. has been able to help Ukraine really damage the Russian military, prevent the illegal and hostile invasion of takeover of their territory by the aggression of Russia, and put Ukraine in a position where now, I mean, this would have been unthinkable some time ago. Now Ukraine is actually making some military gains. They may be temporary, who knows? But even to be in that position when, remember, in 8 weeks, Ukraine will be owned by Russia. It's an insane deal for the United States in terms of holding off Russian aggression without a single soldier on the ground. Now, could it escalate? Do we want these conflicts? Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, it's not simple. But Trump doesn't seem to get the slightest bit of what's going on. Now, finally, here are I'm not going to play the full 2 minutes. Don't worry. Okay. Here is the start of a 2-minute Trump rant. The audience does not make a sound. This is the diminished, shriveled Trump, not mushrooming to the challenge at all, and just trying to get some kind of traction and getting none of it. He is putting his followers to sleep. Oh, wait, hold on. Here it is.
He ignored the pleas of the mayor and the police chief to deploy the National Guard in Minneapolis and said, you're not highly trained soldiers, you're 19-year-olds who cook. That's what he said. You're 19-year-olds who cook. That's a pretty famous statement. As president, I stood with the National Guard as you saved Minneapolis, saved Kenosha, and saved Washington, D.C. I saved them. If I didn't override what they wanted to do and what tradition is, those places we would have lost every monument in Washington. You know, they came into Washington and they were very rambunctious. They liked to pull the statues down, some of these beautiful statues. And then they hit Abraham Lincoln. I said,
all right, that's enough. Incoherent and also lulling people to sleep. This stuff just isn't hitting the way it used to, you know? I don't want to pretend as though Trump was a good substantive speaker last election or anything like that, but he at least could keep the crowd somewhat interested. But the speeches get longer and longer while he says less and less, and he seems out of his mind. And this gets us to the next topic, how the right-wing networks are trying to make Trump seem like he is sane. I've been tracking my family tree for a long time now, and the service I've always relied on is MyHeritage, which I started using long before they became a sponsor. Trusted by over 90 million users, MyHeritage makes it easy and fun to build your family tree with a range of powerful genealogy tools at your fingertips. One of my favorite features lets you quickly find new family members and add entire new branches to your tree. It's always a good time to sit down with my family, show them what I found. For example, The other day, I found a scan of an immigration document from when my mother's uncle's aunt arrived at Ellis Island, or this document from the US-Canada border for my relative who was born in 1895. This is remarkable stuff and really interesting artifacts that are part of the puzzle of my family's past. MyHeritage gives you access to over 19 billion records like this, making it easier than ever for you to uncover amazing new pieces of your family's history. You can try MyHeritage completely free for 14 days when you go to davidpakman.com/myheritage. The link is in the description.